Bye.
This one's about you being the original Japanese cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and what the character's name was?
Yes, I was the original drag transvestite cross-dressing wrestler in Japan.
Yep.
My name was LA Divine.
LA Divine, yep.
And I got the idea. I was in Thailand. I was in Pattaya with Thunder.
Yep.
From CMLL. I got a call up from Game of Thrones star The Mountain.
Yep.
And he kept saying, Dingo, come to Thailand. He was filming and he was like, Dingo, you gotta come. He finished Game of Thrones and he was doing a lot of movies, like a few movies with Dolph Lundgren and Nathan Jones. And he said, Dingo, you gotta come to Thailand, And I never had time because I was wrestling, Okinawa Pro Wrestling, time to go. And I messaged him and I said, Conan, I said, you still in Thailand? He goes, yeah, brother, come on, I'll book you in my condo, we'll hit the gym together. So me and Thunder flew to Pattaya, basically the next day. So we'll train at this place called Tony's Gym. It's in Pattaya. We got scooters, and it was the first time I've ever driven a scooter in my life. My first lesson was in Pattaya, and I mean, there's no road rules. People are just like driving everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, this one crazy story is we almost made a rule. Me and Thunder, as soon as we got on the bikes, before we started them, we put our helmets on and we buckled them up, right? Because we always wanted to be safe. And thank God we did, because one time I hit something wrong and my bike just went boom, and I just hit this pole, head onto this pole, and it put a dent in my helmet. It would have just smashed my brain, and the bike flew under a car and I was knocked out. And Thunder just goes, and then this crowd started to gather, because my bike might have scraped a car, and and then they're going to hit you up for money, and the police are going to be called in, and the police are corrupt, so we go to jail if we don't pay these police off and pay the guy off. And I'm knocked out. I'm not so disorientated, and all I see is these big hands come over, pick up my bike from under the car, put it down, grab me, gorilla press me, put me back on the bike. He goes, Dingo, we gotta get out of here. And I have no idea where we are. I don't even know I was in Thailand. And I just start this scooter. We call it the Bangkok drug run. I don't know why we call it that, but it was so perfect. We hit every green light on the way out, and we just flew out of there, and it was like a smooth run. And we got out, and we got to the pub where we all see they prepared our bodybuilding meals every night for us.
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember the day. I had no clue what day it was. I was so concussed. Yeah. It was just mental. It was crazy. But thank God I did my helmet up. There's a lesson. Keep doing your helmet up.
Yeah.
In Japan, I see these scooter boys riding around. They've got either no helmet or they don't do them up. And I'm like, wankers, do your fucking helmet up. It will save your life. Back to the drag story. So there's a lot of lady boys in Thailand, right? Nothing I'm into, but not judging, each to their own.
Yeah. But
we would go to this cafe every night after the gym. We'd eat, and then we'd go to this cafe that was out of the way. It wasn't populated. There was no Europeans over there, or expat Aussies or expat British. So we wanted to get away from the crowds, right? Cafe that was near our condo where we were staying, and it just so happened to be owned by a ladyboy.
Oh, right, okay, yep.
And basically there was no one there. We would go every night, say 12 o'clock at night, just like sip on lattes and cappuccinos and a few little wines at the end.
Yeah.
We just got this crazy idea. We became friends with the ladyboy who owned the bar.
Okay, yeah.
And her name was Tui. We got the idea, we just sat down and we went, you know what would be crazy? Imagine if we were the first transgender tag teams. And Thunder's a giant. He's like 6'6", right?
Yeah.
And it's me at 5'7". It was like, this would be just like mental if we would turn up to New Japan, because our goal was to get to New Japan. We would turn up to New Japan as two lady boys, but beautiful. We wanted to be beautiful, We just didn't want to be guys that looked like guys with a beard, right? We didn't want that shit. We wanted to be beauty queens. So people didn't even know if we were guys or girls. And
by the way, just before you keep going on, you did send me a photo that I showed some of my friends at work.
They loved it, right?
And they did not believe that it was a guy. They thought it was a hot female.
Especially this bearded guy right here. Well, of course I shaved and everything, And actually I learned to do my own makeup. I went to makeup school in Tokyo.
Oh, you did you?
Oh yeah, that's how committed I was.
Did you do that before you thought of this idea or after?
I had no idea. I had no idea how we were going to do it. I had no idea how it was just an idea. That's all we had was an idea and a joke.
I know, but so you went to makeup schools, like you did that before you had this idea?
Oh, no, after.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So then
You did that to make sure that you could make yourself a good-looking woman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, originally I got makeup artists in Tokyo to do my makeup because I moved to Tokyo. I moved to Tokyo just for this, just to be a cross-dressing transvestite ladyboy. No, that's all I wanted to be.
And did Thunder end up going through with it or not?
No, well, he ended up, I went back to Japan. We were meant to go to CMLL together. This is a crazy, I'm going to tell you this story. A lot of these people are going to think this is nuts. We were meant to go to CMLL originally together. I got him back to Japan and he was wrestling back with me in Okinawa. We either want to go to WWE or we want to go to CMLL. That was our two choices. And we decided, let's go to CMLL.
Yeah.
So we had our sights set on to CMLL. So he flew back to Australia. I flew back a week later. We were going to book our tickets to Mexico the next day when I landed back in Sydney.
Yeah.
I got new costumes made for us, specifically for CMLL in Japan. I came back with the new costumes. We were in my brother's house in Redfern in Sydney. We tried the new costumes on in the bathroom. He changed before me. He went back out to the balcony waiting for me. And as I was changing the costume, I had this message that came to my head. And it said, don't go to Mexico, go to Thailand. And I'm like, what?
Really?
And I'm like, what do you mean there's no wrestling in Thailand. I want to go to CMLL. Why am I going to go to Thailand? And I actually was speaking out loud in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's nuts.
Wow.
And I got changed and I went back out to the balcony and I said to Thunder, I said, you're not going to believe this. I've got something to tell you. And he goes, no, wait a minute. He goes, I've got something to tell you. And I said, what? And he said, we're going to Thailand. And I went, what the f***?
Wow.
What are you talking about? I go, yeah. He goes, I just got a message when I'm in the balcony to go to Thailand, not Mexico. And I went, and he said, what are you going to tell me? I said, the exact same thing. We got the same message to go to Thailand. Legit.
He's crazy.
Straight shooting.
And I'm not saying that I don't believe because, you hear stories of that sort of thing happening, fairly often.
GJ, I'm telling you,
and I'm a believer in that sort of thing.
It's exactly what happened. It's crazy. I wouldn't have believed it myself if it didn't happen to me. And we said to each other, let's go to Thailand.
Yeah.
And that's when I messaged the Mountain from Game of Thrones. And I said, are you still in Thailand? He goes, yeah, I'm in Pattaya. I said, can we come and stay with you? And he goes, yeah, brother, come on. And we booked our tickets to Pattaya the next day. We were on the flight.
Yeah.
We followed our intuition. We thought, how can we ignore this? I got the same message that he got.
So what caused Thunder to go back to the CMLL then?
Yeah, well, so then we thought, okay, what are we going to do in Thailand? So we thought, let's just dedicate ourselves to training. Let's get in great shape. We hit the cardio, we hit the weights every day. That's what we dedicate ourselves to do, to get in really good shape. So we're going to eat clean, we're just going to get huge. When we were there for 2 months, and just near the end of the second month, we're about to book our tickets to Mexico. Directly from Thailand.
Yeah.
He got an email from the WWE.
Oh, really?
And it said, because he had a tryout maybe 5 years previous, and he got sick during the tryout, he couldn't continue the days and just left.
Yeah.
So they were interested in him because he was big, good looking guy, good, he had good ability. He was the most agile big man maybe in the world. He could do standing backflips.
Yeah.
At 6'6", he does standing backflips.
Yeah.
He's a natural athlete. He could have been a professional football player in Australia or basketball player.
And to put that into perspective, this is a guy that's a lot taller than Brian Cage and about probably the same size in muscle.
Yeah.
And he's doing the same sort of moves that Brian Cage does today.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
He was the most gifted athlete I've seen in my life. He's like a Michael Jordan, a Bo Jackson. He could cross over sports. Whatever he put his mind to, he would have been professional at. If he grew up in the States, he would have been a professional NFL player. Guaranteed. He would have played for the Packers, guaranteed. That was his favorite team.
Yeah.
He got the email from WWE and they said, do you still look the same? And he said, yep, I still look the same, bigger. And they said, we want you, but it's just a formality. We want you to come have one more tryout in Tokyo. And we went, and he got the email, and after he got the email, I didn't know he got the email. We went to dinner, and he said, Dingo, I've got something to tell you. He goes, I got a call up from WWE. They want me to try out. And I said, brother, you got to go. I said, that was always our goal. WWE or CMLL, but you got the call up from WWE. I go, you go. And he said, once I get in there, he goes, Dingo, you're coming next.
Yeah.
And I said, do it. Just go and do it. I'll go back to Japan. I left the window open for me back in Japan to go back. And I said, all right, WWE, here we come. Because one in, all in for us.
Yeah.
So that was basically it. It was me like, I'm next. I'm going with him. We're going to go back to the tag team, the Croc Masters or the Anunnaki Warriors, which we were going to do in CMLL.
Yeah.
So I went back to Japan. He went back to Australia to get ready to fly back to Tokyo for the tryout, which was it was run by that time by Steven Regal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he had the tryout. Regal absolutely loved him. He loved him. He goes, you're in. He goes, you're the best thing I've seen. And they had to do a interview audition as well as the wrestling. They had to do a match as well as on the mic.
Yeah.
And Regal, who's he's been around forever. He goes, you're the best I've seen on the mic. And he goes, go back to Australia. We're going to send an independent drug tester to the house. And he goes, after that, we're then going to, it's just a formality. We'll get your visa sorted out and you're coming to Florida.
Yeah.
They did that. He cleared the drug test. 1 week, no mail. 2 week, no mail. 3 week, no mail. No one's contacting him.
Wow. That's not uncommon for WWE though.
No, I don't think it's uncommon at all.
People that have been touched next week and they just don't.
Well, what happened was the guy that he was talking to, Canyon Seaman, who was running the talent development at that time, right?
Yeah.
What happened was right when Regal said Canyon Seaman was fired from head office, maybe by Triple H.
Oh, okay.
Basically, what happened was it was just the most unfortunate time you could ever imagine. So all those people from that trial and near there that Regal said, yeah, we want him, bring him, was all then scratched, and Triple H started again, and he took over. That's when Triple H took over the booking and the talent.
Yeah.
Because there was no NXT at this time. There was no NXT, but it was probably a brainchild that they were having.
Yeah.
And as you know, H runs NXT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what happened was he just got lost in the paperwork and forgotten about, which was insane. They had the greatest big man I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
And so he called me up and he said, Dingo, what do I do? And I said, well, let's go to All Japan. I said, come back here. And I said, I'll help you get a tryout with All Japan. Greg Muta was still running All Japan, right? So,
yeah.
Taipan flew back to Japan because while he was waiting, he had the tryout with Muta. Muta loved him. He said, you're good, but we'll work on your wrestling, bring it up to Japanese style. And he goes, we'll put you in the young boy house and we'll give you X amount of dollars a week.
Yep.
But he couldn't live on that. It was so low money that they were offering. They were treating him like a young boy. And Thunder, he goes by his rules. He goes, that's bullshit. Because I can't live off this money. He said, Muta, thanks, but no thanks. And he goes, I'm going to CMLL.